Hoping everyone had a good Christmas, Happy New Year. Everyone got through it safely without too much carnage. Had some time off. I certainly had a couple of days off, which was very nice. And just me tonight. Daz has departed on a little sailing ship across the world, a little bit of exploration. So it is just I. So I'll do my best to try and fly this ship, keep everything rolling intact. And Daz might try and drop in via the comments at some point, I'm sure. We might be able to skip through fairly quickly tonight without Daz yabbing us to death as per normal, because it's always him who talks too much. It's never I, it's always Daz. So a few guys starting to roll in. I'll give it a minute or so till we get snipping. Tonight, some albino bredli cross Darwins. People get very emotional when I say just albino bredli. So they are 50% bredli, 50% Darwins. Chasing some nice deep orange albinos would be nice. It's been a combo that even surprised me at 50% mix. That Daz was the brainchild that got it done first. He made the hets, and I made the visuals. I think the same year. I don't know what year it was, 17 or 18 or something. Same year as Joe Ball. And the visuals were certainly more stunning, even at 50%, than I thought they would be. I really thought they'd need to be 75% or 88% before we'd start to see the colour, that brilliant orange colour coming through. So it was a really nice surprise. Certainly a few people working on the 75% heads. I know a mate up in far north. He's hoping to hatch out some 75% visuals very shortly. So it'll be interesting to see what that extra bredli percentage does. So certainly the orange in that bredli is doing fantastic things in the albino version. So we shall see how we go. I finally got some 75% heads made this year after dicking around with it for several seasons. That happens. But, a couple of years, hopefully, I'll get some 75% visuals myself. So g'day Christopher, g'day Brendan, Jason, Chloe, g'day Chloe, long time no see. Mr. Venom stuff as always. Adrian, Brad, hey mate. Yep, keen to see what's happening. It's a clutch I always love cutting, and this year I used a super orange boy. He's the best boy I've ever made. I've always had too many boys to choose from and not enough females. So I'm still using for this year a het, a very dark het girl. She was in the picture that I posted up on Facebook. So let's hope that that turns into some nice orange stuff. Last year she made some really nice striped stuff, that het girl. She was paired to a nice, not as orange, a bit more yellow shade visual boy that also had a fantastic stripe. And certainly the striping was what I was hoping for, and the striping was outstanding. So this year I'm hoping to get some striping, but try and increase some of that orange. Lunga, g'day mate. Merry Christmas to you. Yep, and everybody. I will try to keep on top of this chat. So if I'm missing anything, I apologise, but I will try to do all of it. Normally Daz is here helping sort stuff out, but we'll try and just bring it through. So we might start having a bit of a snip, and I will try to keep on top of the messages if I work out which way this thing feeds. This way. Tanya, g'day. Mr. Muzz, how are you, brother? My rooster man. All going well here, mate. Hopefully looking at that post you put up from this same line, that striped boy with some crazy colours. Hopefully that one will prove out a head albino for you coming next season if you can get the job done. Alrighty, we will flick some cameras. Alrighty. So a couple pipped after I got home from work today. So it was a nice surprise. They're actually overdue. And by overdue, I mean people get a little bit funny about how many days things should take. And according to 60-day rule that seems to be ingrained in the hobby. These are actually about 64 days, but I'm not too concerned about days. People often get a bit funny about how many days and how, should they be out? Should I cut them now? And there are so many variables. People always say to me, 61 days, should I cut them? And I'm like, no, leave them alone. In time, you'll learn to read how eggs look, and eggs that look very, starting to sink in a fair bit, they're ready. So they've done their job inside. They've absorbed as much yolk as possible. And that is the time they're ready to cut. Any eggs, a little bit like this one maybe, that are still very full and round, they're not ready. So leave them alone. There's just so many options with temperatures. People cook from anything from 28 to 32 degrees, and that will cause you huge variations in hatching time. So, and I'm talking from 55 days to 70 days. So don't panic, be patient. When they are, certainly when you start to see a few heads there like that, that's the time that you want to have a peek and have a snip away. Go ahead. I cut all of them when there's a few out, but I've got to say, it's I cut them because we're here. We come to see some snakes, so we snip away. But when it's not so much of a show thing, if there's ones that are wet or really don't look like they're ready, I'm happy to snip half the clutch and leave it a day and cut some more the next day. So patience is king, people. It's often the reason for, I think, people snip too early. Eggs are not ready. Snakes will rush on out, which is never a good thing. And the best place for them is in that egg for as long as possible. They can absorb as much as possible and come out when they're ready. So try to make a bit of space here. It's a decent sized clutch, actually. I think it's 22. One albino did exactly what I just said and rushed out straight out of the egg. So it's in a separate tub, still with the egg sac attached to it, which I hate. So I tried to shove it back in the egg, but it did not want to go back in. So it will have to stay in there for a little bit longer and hopefully stay in the tub, and hopefully in time that egg sac comes off cleanly. I don't like to cut them if I don't have to. So that's the objective of the program. Some nice bright orange things, nice and fat and healthy. Find a head in here somewhere. Can't see it, leave it alone, but nice and healthy and moving. And I was hoping that this darker het girl would produce some deeper orange. I think the darker, the wild type bredli that's het albino seems to be making the much nicer looking albinos. A lot of people sort of talked about trying to use hypo, which wasn't really successful. A few people have done it. I've done it, and the hypo just tends to wash out that orange, hypo makes it lighter, so we get back to very yellow looking albinos. This one's got his head in not the greatest position. Sorry, mate. Try and cut around your melon. So any of the darker looking heads, more the reddish bredli stuff, certainly seem to be making the nicer orange combos. Nice wildy. If Daz was here, we'd have a little bet on this, and about the first 5 heads I saw poking out were all brown, so he would have been on wild types. He would have won if he'd bothered showing up, but the connection on the boat would not be that great, I would imagine. So he will have to watch on. Hi, Kira Lee. Got some nice ones to help convince Mum to let me get another snake. Come on, Mum. I think your mum actually loves them more than you do. She's a secret snake lover. And she won't take a whole lot of convincing, I'm sure. Mums like to use their kids as an excuses of, no, you can't have a snake. And when they get one, suddenly, I want a snake too. Happens a lot with those mums. You got to watch them. So hopefully there are a few nice ones here that Might convince Mum for something else. Get inside this thing. Just snip a few of these wild types away, and this one with the sack. I do not like when the sack is half wrapped around the snake like that. Hopefully that's not a tangled mess inside, but he's got his head up there taking some first breaths, so he's okay. Just got to hope, I keep an eye on things like that, that when they start to come out, they are not an entire tangled up, restricted from getting out of the egg, and generally they stress themselves to death trying to get out, tear things apart, and it does not end well. So sadly, we had one of those in that last pepper clutch, little caramel jag, very, very tangled up. Took an extra day. I always worry that when there's, everything's out in a day, and then another day goes by and there's still one, and another day goes by, and then after 2 days I start to think something's wrong, and generally that's what happens. They get a little bit of interference from the cord. That one's got some nice red. Let's see if I can get this to zoom and stay in focus. And that's what I look for in the hets, that where you can see some of that bredli red starting to pump out. That's they tend to be the magic makers when it comes to visual time. The 4 wildies, 1 albino. Oh, Daz is here. Can I link me in? I can try to link you in, Daz. Stand by. Hang on one sec, guys, while I try to work this out. And no, don't want a source. All right, Daz, stand by for link. Coming to you now, Daz. Get rid of that one. Daz might be able to slip on in. We'll see how good his internet is. He can grace us with his presence from aboard his little sailing ship. G'day, Jules. Mr. Hutchin in the house. Not on a boat today yourself, Mr. Hutchin. Often sends me nice pictures of boats sailing across waters that look fantastic rather than the computer screen that I am generally looking at. But it is nice to see what's happening out there in the rest of the world, though. So keep them coming. There we go. Another little head. The good thing with all the wild types in this, they will all be 100% head albino using a visual male. So that will make life a little bit easier than the POS het world. David Avery, g'day, mate. Come on, don't be hacking out on the Roosters jersey. It's nearly football time. Everyone's got to have a team. Someone tell this blind man to send me a link. I've told us in there, mate. Come on, hurry up. Get the link. Charlie Deeb, g'day, mate. I'm trying not to disconnect anything. I can't see Daz coming into the stream now. Anyway, we'll keep an eye out for you, Daz. There's links there and ready, mate. Christopher Fletcher, go the Bulldogs, mate. They should have a better season. They've certainly got the team for it. So if they can put it together on the paddock, they could be a force. And they re-signed the snow-making bomb machine I saw, which will be very good for them for the next 5 years. Trent, I have just made 75% bredli het, so I'm a little behind on that. I sort of left it alone. I missed it a couple of seasons trying and then gave up. And, so I have just made 75% hets. I'll be a few years before I'll have visuals in the 75%. They should be spectacular. They should be really nice. I know the guy up north I was saying before has got 75% hets to size and has a clutch, actually a few clutches, I think. I think he's got 2 or 3 clutches ready to ready to hatch out in the next month or so. So it should be very interesting to see how there's always going to be variation. It's the name of the game. So more percentage in theory should work, but it will depend on the polygenics of the animals you've used, and there's going to be a mix. There's going to be some good. There's going to be some less good. That's a better colour. So it's been missing for a while. Oh, here's Daz. Hey, mate, stop sticking your finger up at me. Hang on, we'll get Daz in. Stop sticking your finger up, Daz. G'day, mate.
Can you hear me? G'day,
I
mate.
can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh,
You're in live, so don't say anything bad.
As opposed
ship,
to...
mate?
Oh, it's lovely. It's lovely. Look,
Your photos have been great.
That's my view at the moment, if you're looking at your screen.
Hi, Sienna. Yeah, mate, it looks a far better view than what I've been looking at.
Yeah.
You look like you got
Definitely.
a suntan already.
Yeah, we're in Early Beach today. It was a bit hot. Despite having sunscreen on, you sweat it all off, so it didn't last very long. It was quite hot. It's warm and humid, so...
What's the temps running up there?
It's good. It was only 20, I think, today, or 27, but it was 80-odd% humidity. So flick your screen around, mate. So you've got drag your screen, so you've got a big screen of the eggs. No one must know. I've mugged with sunburn.
Yeah, big giant melon. Let me see if I can pick the right one. Oh, look at that first go, eh? Beautiful.
Mate,
yeah, well, you were nasty too. It would have died. Funny that.
Yeah, my phone's not very good.
Luckily, you stole your wife's phone for the night.
This is a pretty good clash. I was watching it before. My wife's laptop. She brought some work in the laptop, so...
Yeah, mate, if some juniors made some good hits a few years ago to get this program rolling, eh?
Oh, at least someone has the hindsight or foresight to do these things.
Foresight. You had the great idea. You just didn't execute.
The execution.
And now
follow it through.
Yeah, and now much like Trent saying, everyone's now behind Luke Lovey because Luke's the man up north that's went on with a male visual. I sold him way back in the day, made 75% heads already, and got the heads up to size and about to hatch some 75%ers. So good on Luke, mate. I'm happy to see people take the project and do something good with it. So much like, Daz was behind me. I sort of jumped in front of him. Now Luke's going to jump in front of everybody. So.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
You can't be in front on everything forever.
Wonder if he's got any of the Ghost Xanthic 50% bredli to throw in the mix to make some snow bredli.
Yeah, I know someone is closer on that front than me. I've done nothing with it because Daz held me out of that program for a while, punishing me after the albino debacle.
That's all right. Yours are the same age as mine. Mine bred. How are yours going? Oh, wait.
Yeah, they're going great, mate. Going fantastic. My visual one's quite a decent size, 22 or 23. So one albino's out and about. That's just that's more looking like, got the good stripe. Let me see if I can get that stripe. But that's more of the lighter colouring compared to some of the other ones we're trying to get the brighter orange out of. So, like we're saying, it's variation. There's always going to be a mix. Some stripe, some yellow, some orange.
I don't have the UB at home computer set up at the moment, so I have to deal with all the laptop stuff.
To deal with the tiny screens, mate, not your 40-inch super screen you're normally rolling on.
Or 32, but close enough.
It's not a bad size for a computer screen.
Yeah, because my wife's actually working at the moment. Or not at the moment, but working while we're away. We actually have Wi-Fi on the ship, so that she's paying for through work. So it's handy to be able to have a bit of Wi-Fi when you need it, or else we'd have none out here.
Amazing
Sometimes
technology, isn't it? You know, where are you? Far off the coast of Australia and still connected to the internet.
Yeah, far enough away. So we're left Valley Beach on the way up to Cairns at the moment. So yeah, Cairns all day tomorrow.
Beautiful spot. I'm glad it's only 26
Yeah.
and not 46.
You got that right.
That one's a little wet. We'll leave that one alone. That's the mix you get. Sometimes you get some that aren't quite ready. That is definitely one.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll try and go through some of the messages that I've seen since I've been here. So hello everyone that's here. Sorry I was kind of late because we're on a different time zone. Because you have a set dinner in the dining room. It was like, what time are we going for dinner? I'm like, it's not another hour and a half. He goes, Brent's on. I'm like, oh, let's go. Try and work it out.
Yeah, you're one of those people
that
can't read Sydney time.
Yeah, because half the watches and clocks are all wrong. So
everything's backwards.
Thrown out. Not that I really care.
No. What do you
care
even
what
need a
day
clock
it is
for
or
on
what
a
time
ship?
it is.
Yes, I can imagine that. It sounds like a
it's only
nice place
know when
to
you
be
go for
retreating.
dinner.
Yeah, when they ring the bell.
Food and drinks 24/7. So yeah. So hopefully the internet holds out anyway. So
excellent.
Another alb.
That's a nicer alb too. That one's a little bit wet also.
So how many have you got at the moment?
That is number 6. There's one that's out and there's 5 here. So they're starting to get back up. There's seven wildies and 6 albinos. So the numbers are coming back into ratio. A few of these eggs are fairly wet in the middle of this clutch still. Try not to let too much leak. I always tell people if they're going to cut wet eggs, try and cut very high. So cut a small C so you don't lose any.
Cut a smaller window.
There's a wildie.
Yeah, definitely. Ray Griffiths, his dad's the best looking bloke in the Southern Hemisphere with that tan. I don't know, you could probably compare me to a beetroot. Despite having put sunscreen on like a couple of times, the sweat just ran out. I did have a lovely swim today. It was really nice.
Yeah, I bet it just melts off in that tropical
up
sun.
In God's country. Yeah, I reckon.
Christopher, who's your footy team, Daz? Do you even have a footy team?
I was a big doggy supporter back in when I was young, back in the 80s, mid 80s, all through to 90s and stuff. And then when when they introduced Super League, I think it was around the mid 90s sort of thing.
The shitstorm.
It kind of tainted me and lost my interest, but I still kind of follow the doggies and that if they're playing. Don't mind watching the games here and there. Not as huge a follower as what I used to be though.
No, it comes and goes.
Quite dark.
Still. Yeah, that is a nice darkie for a wildie. So, nice little head job.
Yeah. Trent's saying he hasn't heard if he's bred the Exantics, but we'll find out in a few weeks when I go and terrorise him. So that'd be interesting.
Phil Cohen, Roberts, those boys.
Yep, hey guys. Oh, sure, Daz joins and brings the albino luck. I can't bring it to myself, so Brent may as well have it.
I know, mate, thank you. You showed up and the albino started pumping, so you've evened up the score a little. He's also a fairly wet one. He's absorbed a fair bit. Just got a little egg yolk layer stuck over him. He's resisting my attempts at pushing him, so he's alive and okay.
Nice.
More wildies out. What do we got? 6 to go, mate. 6 to go.
Had anything so far that you think is going to be a cracker, or it's a bit the picture's not the greatest on him?
There's a couple right at the start that look the right colour of what I want. What you can see in the egg, because obviously most snakes are not spectacular straight off the bat, but after hatching a few of these, you can sort of pick the ones that definitely look better than ones that just look like normal albinos. If they look orange straight in the egg, you've got what you want, So most of them, what albinos hatch out, they're far from impressive in the egg. So
that's it. Well, it looks pretty cool.
That's dark too. That's very nice.
Yeah. I like the dark ones.
Nice and healthy, ready to roll.
Cool.
But
Brad Griffith asks, are you guys coming down for the Vic Expo? I'm not sure whether I'm going to have the time for that one. I'd like to actually get down there.
Probably not. No, I don't think so, mate. It's we're still trying to organise something for Queensland because that'll be nice to see their first one get off the ground up there. I've never been to Vic either,
Definitely.
so like we talked about before,
Yeah.
they have so many years they've jammed the Vic one on top of the Penrith Expo. So it's always been a clash of time.
There's a little bit of a gap, but it still makes it a little bit difficult.
Yeah, it's a very busy few weeks between, you know, how much work's involved in an expo, getting things set up and unpacked and sorted out, and you've still got to try and feed animals in between those off weekends, you know. So it's fairly intense time during expos.
Yeah, well, it's going to be chaos for me. Trying to get everything clean and sorted before we went, then being away for a month, and then on holidays, and then coming back with, I think, a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, I think, before the Adrian's show.
Before Sydney Expo, yeah. Yes, it's always a rush at the best of times since they jammed the expos in early. I feel like one of them trying to escape out the side here. The Wildie, that's got a bit of nice striping too. You can see on the back end of that.
Yeah. It's good to see some of the stripes coming through, which I know is a bit of a poly project sort of thing, trying to get into this as well.
It is. I'll see if I can. I'll finish snipping these last three. I'll try and pull out one of the stripes from last year from the same girl to one of the stripe visual males I have. It's the best stripe animal I think I've ever made. It's very, very nice. Being a het, 100% het, definitely sticking around.
Yeah, cool. Vinny Gosney's asking, how much are these guys going to be going for, and will they be for sale? Best thing to do for that, Jenny, is to actually message Brent Smith on Facebook Messenger, or on, is it khpreptiles.com.au, Brent?
Yep. Jenny's, I've dealt with Jenny before. She can just shoot me a message how she normally does. She actually, Jenny got one of these, I think, from last year anyway, so they'll be much the same as last year.
Excellent.
Nice little Wildie. Mate, Wildies are taking over now. We're running out. It's an absolute plethora of wild types in the end of this clutch. I thought you were my good luck charm, and now you've ruined it, Daz.
I was. It's your luck now. I brought the good luck. But, you know, only go so far.
Okay. All right, I'll take over. Here's a better looking one.
Oh, no, that must be me bouncing back.
Daz is coming back to life.
Yeah.
That's nice and healthy too. I'd love to see a bit of instant movement as soon as you sort of probe them a little bit.
Yeah, they're like, hey, what's going on?
Big, fat, solid unit too. It's using every available space in that egg. Leave him alone. Looking good. And
okay, Jenny's saying, yeah, Raven. She'll be a year old on the 10th. There we go.
Yep. Don't forget to make the rat cake for the birthday. The snakes will love it.
Actually,
cool name too. I like that name, Raven.
Yes.
And this one looking very dark for the final one. And indeed. Wildie, mate, if you'd been here for the bet, you would have killed it on Wildie's, Daz.
That's my go-to, mate. Wildies. That's what I'm best at.
Love them the best. I'll move some of these out of the way. Look at these fellas. You think they're ready? Half of them are about trying to explode out of the eggs on the bench here.
I think they're one with its head out sizing you up for a bit of a munch. He's like,
yeah. A couple of them are having a good little sniff while I was snipping the rest of them. So not the most brilliant odds, but 6 plus the one that jumped out of the egg early. So 7 albinos from 22, I think it was. See, my luck is not always too super perfect. For those who think I am some sort of lucky freak, does not always go that way. But certainly there's a few very nice visuals in there that'll be good to work with.
Definitely a bit extra blood to work with.
Yeah, she actually, I just looked on the board, she laid 24. One went bad, I think, so 23. One went in the bin, was an absolute mouldy mess right next to another one. It didn't affect it, being a good egg. So 23 hutchies out of that will be nice.
That's good. Some of those wildies will be quite nice too, and being 100% het. I guess this is albino to het bredli, was it?
Correct, mate. Yep. So it's away from that pot's head world.
Yeah, it's all 100% het, so it makes some nice. Some of those dark ones will make some nice pairings.
She's going into shed, of course. So
yeah, always.
The greatest time to be on show because she looks dull and grey. She's actually a beautiful. You get those wild type browns and dark colours, but that stripe was to die for. So that was the object of that program last year, was to try and get that stripe up and going, and that was certainly a winner. So yeah, not a bad win. I think there was would have been in that same clutch. If I can find them. Why is everything in shed when you want to pull it out for the show? There's one of the.
That's how they roll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
one of the albinos from last year. That had a bit of striping.
Oranges.
That was certainly nice colour, and it's actually dull. Like, it looks absolutely pinkish to me. It looks better under the camera than what I'm seeing on the snake, because it's just slipping into shed.
Yep, that's the joys of polygenic progress. Seeing that improvement. Clutch after generation after generation. And slowly, definitely. Over the years, improving it.
That was one of the other ones I kept back. That was really more on the yellow side, but an insane quality stripe, and really faded down the back end. Still pinkish bits all down the back still. So
you kind of see that in some of the Darwins too. That bright yellow at the top or yellow at the top end, and more white down the back end. Quite cool.
I thought you were going to say tricolour for a second.
Tricolour.
Not going there. Not doing it.
Yeah, no.
This is one other one. Oh yeah, this one. So much smaller, was a much lower starter, but nice colour, nice bit of striping as well.
Yeah,
just a painful eater, that one. It's often going, but it just took a little bit to get started. But it's pulled its finger out now and seemingly liking food, which is nice.
Well, that helps. When they want to eat, that's always a good thing. Makes them grow better.
Funny enough, they tend to look a lot better with a few feeds as well.
Yeah, 100%. That's my biggest problem. By the time I get back, I've got to pop a few feeds and everything, and hope, my luck, everything will go into a shed right before the show.
Yes, that's always the risk of, getting back towards expo time, and then all of a sudden, pump a few feeds in and snap.
Oh, it's fine. I scared myself.
You're gonna have to make yourself look pretty for the camera now, mate.
Yeah, I know that sucks. I need this chair actually. This little chair. Let's see if that's better. Still just holding the laptop at the moment. Ooh.
Did you wear your shark shirt to show the sharks, did you?
Yeah, because they eat chickens. Or roosters, should I say.
Roosters. I know you're fascinated with the cock and all, so, it's to be expected.
Let's just not go there.
Yes. Well, not a bad clutch, mate. It's, happy with those results. It's not quite as many albinos there as what you like, but certainly some good stuff to push on with, which is the name of the game. keep one or two of the best things back and move on the rest.
Definitely. No, it's good. It's good to see when they saw about the show. Oh, maybe you can get on. I said, well, the internet works. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, lucky. So it's good to get on. We missed a few clutches, so
I'm amazed at. I mean, your picture looks grainy to me. Doesn't look like it's feeding that well, but it could be just my end too. But it's just a fantastic technology. You can be in the middle of the ocean and still connected.
yeah, no, it's just the delay here. That's all it is. It's not the best internet.
Yeah, it's something. It's probably
So
they don't expect you to be
Yeah.
streaming to the internet from their services. I'm sure.
Oh, definitely not. But what do you do? I don't like my
probably
face
saying-
close. It's terrible.
They're probably saying, "Who's this bloke in cabin 62 doing OnlyFans live shows? We're supposed to be out on the ocean enjoying life."
That's next. Comes up soon.
What was that? Dungong or whatever you're going on about this morning?
Dugong.
Dugong show
Dugong.
live.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, very nice.
Dugong. Yeah, that's right. Yes. No, we'll leave those. Try to. For those that don't know, I try to send Brent a pic of the day to let him know that there is a life outside of work.
I love them.
And, yeah, I try to make inappropriate ones and send some pleasant ones. So for a bit of a laugh. So unfortunately, all has to go through my wife's phone because mine died and the internet keeps dropping out. It's terrible. So I threw it, and that didn't help it. It kind of
Very
works.
scary.
But I need just done with it. Terrible thing. So I'm here actually. So anyone that sent me a message, I will get back to you once I get some reception, and because I cannot remember my Facebook login, I have no idea what it is. So either when I get home, or we're going to try and actually get the phone sorted in Cairns if we can. If not, then I'll get everyone's messages when I get back. So whatever. Sorry.
You're on the boat, mate. You probably should be trying to enjoy a bit of a holiday and a bit of downtime anyway.
100%. Help clear the head, that's for sure. It's good to get away.
Yeah, it's good.
So,
yep, anything out of Sydney is much better.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Sophia up to Singapore and then another 10 days there, which would be nice. So
beautiful.
Plenty
Very
to
nice.
do. Hopefully, hopefully we're doing a tour on Komodo Island, so hopefully we might get lucky there. It'd be nice to see a wild Komodo dragon.
I can't wait for your pick of the day from Komodo Island.
Yes.
Hopefully
it's a good pick.
It's you trying to be a smart ass and stick your finger up at me and have a Komodo dragon hanging off your elbow. That'll be cool. Oh, it does look like he's frozen. I'm just stuck with his head stuck on my screen now. He might have lost connection there, which is not surprising. I'm surprised it even actually connected and works. So that might wrap us up. I think it was good to catch up with everyone. Hopefully everyone back to work safely and enjoying the new year. That forever smile, indeed. Mate, he's just going to sit there now like a head on a stick. Good old Dazza. I'm glad he made it in anyway. Thanks for dropping in, Daz. And thanks for everyone who dropped in for the cut. I've still got about 8 or 9 clutches still to come. So we hopefully we'll have a few more things to cut live very shortly. There are certainly maybe 4 or 5 more not so far away in the mixed blood stuff. And then a few pure bredli ones fairly late, as always, for the spring breeders. They'll be mid-February, late February-ish. A couple of exciting ones coming out in those as well. So I didn't cut one of the live bredli clutches last year in the stripe things. I was just trying for a little stripe program that hatched out some very interesting hatchies. So a repeat pairing of that this year. She dropped another nice solid clutch. So hopefully we'll see more of the magic again. We'll see them late Feb. All right, guys. We might wrap that one up. We can keep it. See, 40 minutes, Daz, for reference when you're not waffling on forever. 40 minutes, you can be in and out and done. So thanks, everyone, for dropping in for their Saturday night. And you can catch me, KHP Reptiles. Most people message me via the page or messenger, Brent Smith. You can catch Daz at Morelia by Design on Facebook, and he does Insta, he does them all, or Darren Whitaker on Messenger as always. And like he said, he's off on a boat for a few weeks yet, so you will need to give him some time to get back to you. So hope everyone has a good night, and we'll catch up with you soon. Catch you later.